Mr. 845 social media and events.
Hey everybody, it's Mr. 845 here, and we're interviewing another business owner. Check this out. We're here with Brittney. Brittney, tell us who you are and what do you do?
Hey guys, my name is Brittney Secreto. I'm a financial planner with Cetera Investors. You can reach me on Facebook via Brittney Secreto or my website, which is brittneysecreto.ceterainvestors.com, or you can send me a text 845-940-2070.
All right, awesome. You cut into my first line, so it's great.
Sorry.
I don't even have to ask it. No, it's great. You're already lined up, ready to go. All right, so about financial planning. I mean, it's something that everybody nowadays definitely needs, especially in these times of inflation. So tell us, what are some key things that people should look at when they're looking for a financial planner? Is this something that when they're trying to line up with you, they have to make sure that they have things in place? Or how exactly would they get ready to have a meeting with you?
Sure. So the first thing when you're shopping for a financial advisor is you definitely want to talk to a few of them. You don't want to just go with your parents' financial advisor that's 80 and may not be in business for the next 30 years. And what I tell my clients when I meet with them, the first and foremost, most important thing is you have to trust me. If there's a vibe that you don't really agree with the things I say, or we're not making that connection, the relationship is not going to last. And I want my clients to be with me for 30 years if I'm still working at 30 years. I want you to be able to trust me when I tell you something, you're going to take my advice and it's not going to be an argument. So if you don't trust the person that you're working with all of your money, go find someone else and have that relationship with someone. And then of course, really know why you want that person to help you. I have clients that just want me to help them retire, which is great. That's one of my specialties. But I also have, yeah, but also I have people who are young, starting out, have no idea about anything. I mean, they don't teach finance in school anymore, or they never did. So some of these people who are right out of college don't even know how to set up a bank account. It's not something that I love to do, but it's something that has to be done. And someone's got to teach these people how to, bank smart, and then grow, because my 25-year-old clients will be with me for the rest of their life because they'll be thankful that I got them started when no one else wanted to talk to them. So why you want someone to help you, what your biggest goals are, and really have a kind of a good grasp on what your expenses are. So when I sit down with you, I'm going to ask what your monthly budget is. If you're trying to tell me that I need to save XYZ, we need to know those numbers. So kind of being organized, but really I'm going to tell you everything you need to know. And the first consultation is really just getting to know you. So usually I'll say, okay, now being that I know this much about you, this is what I need you to get to me by the next meeting so we can go over things. But you kind of have to know what you want out of the meeting before you sit down with someone. You can't just walk in and think they're going to say, this is everything you have to do in life, because that's a very long conversation and most people would just tap out after 20 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, talking finances is something that's very difficult for people. I mean, especially opening up about them, to be able to organize everything. Is there like a specific lineup of things that they should bring with them when they're meeting with you? I know you're talking about like the younger kids, they might not even know how to have a bank account, right? No offense, kids.
No, it's
they didn't set you up for success in the education system.
Exactly.
But when you're talking about like actually doing like either a retirement plan or maybe financial planning for their future, whatever that be, a vacation, car, house, whatever. So what kind of things should they bring with them when having
hot topics are bank statements, so that we can kind of go through your budget all right there. We see what your income is and what you're spending. If you're looking to talk about retirement, then you want to bring what you have for retirement so far. And that could be your individual accounts, your work stuff, pensions, and of course, Social Security, which most people forget to bring those things to me because they're like, oh, I'll just take Social Security at 62. And then I've got to talk them out of why we shouldn't do that if that scenario doesn't make sense. But those are the basic things. There may be some people who have one-off things that, they need to bring, but the bigger things are retirement plans and your bank statements.
Okay. And then, so if somebody's like a business owner now, I just want to kind of talk about your clientele, right? So you've already talked about like the younger a crowd, the retirement crowd. Do you also have like the business owner crowd that kind of like does either just the entrepreneurship or does
Absolutely.
both have a
Yeah.
job and the entrepreneurship?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I have both. I have most of the time clients become both. They sign up with me because they need a retirement plan for their business, and then they realize I really enjoy working with you. Let me make sure that all my other stuff is working efficiently. So I do everyone. I even do people who are just looking to set up accounts for their grandkids. There's no one in this world that I shy away from. There's actually a hot topic coming up this year in New York. Small businesses are going to be required to set up retirement plans for their employees if they have a
Mhm.
certain amount of employees. So
Yeah.
that's definitely going to be a big thing for the coming years with business owners.
I gotta set up a retirement plan for myself. No.
Well, yes, that is number one. But if you have employees, you're gonna have
Yeah.
to do it for them too. So
Now, does that also include 1099 employees, or is that only
no,
strictly
it's yep,
hourly?
W-2 employees. Yep,
Okay.
exactly.
So, those are some good things and good tips to give people. I mean, education is definitely something that a lot of people need when it comes to, financial advice, but also like if I own a business, I'm a solopreneur, right? I'm by myself. Do I have to do these same things, or what are my requirements? That definitely would help as well.
Mhm.
Now, in contacting you now, yeah, I know you gave a lot of your stuff that you gave it earlier. Are they able to message you on social too, or is that
Oh
kind of
yeah,
like
yeah,
what's the
yeah.
best way?
The best way is text.
Okay.
I think everyone is a texter these days. Social media is great. You drop me a comment or send me a message. I don't always check them just because I don't like to live on social media these days. But it's a way to talk to me. There's a message section in well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
There's a message section on on my website. You can contact me. You can actually schedule an appointment right on my website as well. So I'm very accessible.
All right. And then, like when it comes to financial planning, right? And now you're talking strictly kind of like what they have. Do you also talk about investments, or is it
Mhm.
more of like, you have your stuff saved in this type of savings account, you should put it in an IRA? Like, I know that you can't really like talk about too many products, but
Yeah, yeah.
are you the one that kind of guides people through those different processes of different kind of like diversification of their
Yeah.
investments, if you will?
No, that's actually a good point because in the olden days, your financial advisor would actually do all the investing for you.
Mhm.
And recently, the idea behind a financial advisor is not just a money manager, which is
Mhm.
what we all were for the last 100 years. Now you can actually hire an advisor to tell you what you need to do, and you don't have this ongoing relationship. You just have someone that is kind of guiding you through and educating you on what to do. Because if you have a 401k plan and you don't have the ability to save in other things, or you don't really have a lot going on, but you don't know what to do, the financial advisor can't manage that 401k plan for you, but they can certainly draw up a plan and say, hey, this is what you should be doing over the next 1 to 5 years. And you pay that fee for that. Kind of like when you go see your accountant, you pay them to do your taxes, and then you see them next year and you pay them again. You could do something like that, or you can have the traditional relationship where the advisor does all of your investing for you, all the planning, and that ongoing relationship with you. So there's a lot of ways that you can hire a financial advisor these days.
Okay. And of course you're talking budgets too, right? So like, hey,
Yeah, yeah,
that budget that you had given me, it's kind of short,
yeah,
like $300. You might need
yeah.
to cut some, no
Right.
more eating out.
Yeah,
That's not going to work to meet your goal of,
yeah,
retiring at 65 if you keep
yeah.
doing this, right? So,
That's the biggest complaint when I go through budgets is everyone complains to their spouse or whatever it is that we got to stop doing DoorDash. And I'm like, I didn't say you had to stop, but you do have to be aware of how much you're spending on these things so that you can put the money to work somewhere else.
yeah, I mean, DoorDash alone or just eating out in general has been
Yeah,
crazy, even
yeah,
just living expenses.
yeah,
Now, do you also look at accounting for inflation when it comes to financial planning? Because I know
absolutely.
not everybody's like a fortune teller and they can have a crystal ball and say, yep,
Right.
inflation's going up, you're gonna get
Yeah.
screwed.
Yeah.
But so like, do you also accommodate for that type of, whether it be spending, maybe life changes,
Mhm.
another kid,
Yeah.
somebody's graduating, somebody's going to
Yeah.
college, that type of
Yeah.
stuff.
Inflation will always be here. Always, 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 always. Whether it's 1% or 10%, it'll always be here. So we have to plan for it, especially if it's a long-term goal like retirement. If you're saving for what you need today, let's say you need 100 grand today to live off of, 100 grand in 30 years is not 100 grand. So you always, always, always have to look for inflation. And of course, no one has a crystal ball. No one predicted what is going on right now, but you can definitely go with an average and at least you're doing something versus not planning at all.
Yeah. It's a very important because I don't want to get stuck with people just getting their social security and then all of a
Right.
sudden, you know, they're really taking down the system and then I have to go get it at 65 and I'm like, where's the money? Like
If it's there for you at 65.
Exactly. Show me the money. I mean,
Yeah.
not to talk politics, but they're already talking about extending it to almost 70 years
Yeah.
old. And the life expectancy of a human being is about 70 years old. So it's kind of crazy. Like you're financially planning to retire, but you can't even get your social security, if you will, that thing that's supposed to be social for you when you're still alive. So it's kind of crazy. So you kind of have to rely on your retirement, you know, it's very important to budget and to get, you know, something behind you.
You have to be your own banker in this world for sure.
Yeah.
You can't trust that something's going to be given to you.
So something I always like to ask business owners and people in business whenever I interview them is what's kind of like the more pressing topic, if you will, is like when you were little and you're growing up throughout your life, is financial planning something that you always wanted to do, or is this something that you kind of just fell into?
No, I never even knew what financial planning was until I started doing it. I was one of those kids that always wanted to do whatever it was that I felt like I could do better. Like I wanted to be a teacher because I felt like I could teach better. I wanted to be a doctor because I could take care of people better. And then when I went to college, I went for business and economics because I said, well, I'm going to land somewhere if I have this kind of degree and it can be kind of versatile. But what got me actually was I got an interview with my first company, which kind of sort of still with them. And I had no idea what it was. And they kind of said, well, you're going to be helping people save and grow their money and really educate them in the financial world. And I said, well, I put myself through college trading stocks, so I do know a great deal about the market and things like that. And that was it. I took the job and I never looked back and I love every second of it. I actually joke that if I won the lottery, I'd still do this. I might fire a few clients, but I'd still do this for, you know, the foreseeable future. I really do love it. And I think it was actually a good fit at the end of the day.
Yeah, I don't know if that winning the lottery is a good financial plan, you know what I'm saying? But
no, we're not playing the lottery, but if you win it, that's great. Wonderful.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, listen, you want to talk to her if you guys out there are listening, if you win the lottery, you're going to have to talk to a financial planner. Trust me.
Exactly.
Most of the time, lottery winners end up either splurging all their money away or giving it to everybody and their mother, like around them, and then ending up with nothing. So
pretty sure they have a show about that.
Oh yeah, multiple. But you know, that's kind of like the important thing. Now you're also located in the Hudson Valley as well, correct?
Yes.
So what area or demographic do you kind of like work in?
Yeah, well, I have an office in Fishkill. I also have an office in Pearl River down in Rockland. We have 2 offices in Manhattan. My firm is nationwide, so my clients range all the way down to Long Island, all the way up to Saratoga, Old Forge, somewhere I have to be able to drive to them, right? But now in this day and age, anyone can Zoom. So, you know, when my clients move to Florida, I still see them, but you at least want to be able to meet me in person one time. So as long as I can drive to you within 2 hours, that's kind of my demographic.
Okay. And that's cool that you actually show up to them. I mean, some people expect them to only go in the office and that's it. Some people do other things.
Yeah.
So it's cool that they have that versatility. So when it comes to you know, getting a plan together, I know that it's kind of like customizable. Is this something that you kind of like line them up with and then kind of like give them paperwork on, like, here, this is my plan that I would give you, and then if they don't agree upon it, you kind of just customize to whatever their needs are? Or is it like, listen, you're asking for this boat,
Yeah,
if you want this boat, you
Yeah.
have to do these things, you know, or is
That's,
there
yeah,
flexibility?
there's always flexibility. But again, if you're hiring the right person and you want the boat, you're going to do whatever they say to get the boat. But yeah, you can, if you say, I don't want this kind of investment, or I want socially responsible companies in my portfolio, there's always things like that that can, you know, change. And I may say that you need to save X amount of dollars a month, and you're like, you're crazy, I can't do that because I'm not giving up my DoorDash. Then okay, we adjust the goal, but this is what your end result's gonna look like.
Yeah.
And yeah, so everything's totally flexible.
And they kick the can down another year,
Right.
you know.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
so, you know, this is a lot of good information, and it's something that I want to make sure that people kind of like understand and they learn, especially when it comes to their financial future. Not a lot of people, as you said, learn from school
Mhm.
that, you know, a dollar plus another dollar plus taxes, fees, and all that stuff is how much you actually make. And
Mhm.
then this is what your budget you have to work with. Some people are just like, I want this apartment. I'm going to live in this apartment, even if I only have $20 to my name and I'm eating
Yeah.
ramen noodles for this foreseeable future. So,
Yeah.
you know, those are the type of thing. Now, when you're talking about financial advisement, are you also guiding them on like, okay, based on the job that you currently have, are you looking out to eventually move to a higher position? Is this something that you're going to be standard at? What kind of raises have you seen?
Yeah.
So that way you can come kind of add that to the plan.
It sounds like you've talked to someone before because you get good questions.
You
No,
know,
but
it
that,
happens.
yeah, no, that's 100% how it works. For me personally, I'm not going to say, okay, I'm going to use your income in the future unless we know for sure, you know, there's certain careers where you could say, I'm going to make this over the next certain amount of years. Like teachers, for instance, they know they're getting their raise and they're going to cap out at XYZ amount every year by the time they retire. But usually I'll just stay with the number they have. And it's always a question, do you expect to earn more? Do you expect to earn less at certain points? Some people want to retire, do a part-time job to bridge that gap between retirement and Social Security. All of those things are a big factor when planning for at least the long-term goals, for sure. Yeah.
For me, that is not my goal, just so you know. Retiring and that's it.
That's it.
Uh,
Done.
I'm going traveling with the wife, and let's
That's
call it
awesome.
hanging out with the grandkids, and that's it. You know,
There you go.
that's my ultimate goal. Let's see if we can make that happen, right? So also I wanted to make, like, a lot of times when I do these videos, a big thing that I want to make sure that people have is kind of like an idea or a advice for the future or for people
Mhm.
going into this field. Because, you know,
Yeah.
when when you become, you know, so indebted into the game, if you will, like you're in this business for so long,
Yeah.
new people come in and they basically they're younger, they have no idea what they're doing, and you have to kind of give them advice. So what I
Yeah.
usually ask business owners is like, based on your experience, based on things that you've done, you know, what's some good key advice for somebody either going into financial planning, or, you know, possibly working for you, something that would help them to understand what they have to prepare for when looking at this type of field.
Yeah, sure. So financial planning is similar to running your own business. You have to get new clients, manage new clients. You have to kind of do everything that someone with a brick and mortar store would have to do as well. So whatever profession you go into, you really have to give it your all. And I think a lot of times, especially nowadays, the younger generation may lose interest quickly and they're not really giving the time to let it get off the ground. So if this is something that you want to do, for sure, give it 3 to 5 years to really kind of grow and marinate so that you can get the most best results out of, you know, out of your effort. If you're not putting any effort in, then there's no time, there's no reason to waste your time. But if this is what you want to do, and whether it's financial planning or, you know, being a real estate agent, you have to put every ounce of your effort in to get the reward that you're looking for. And that's the reason why you're kind of doing that profession. Um, in my business particularly, there's a lot of mentorships. I'm happy to take on teams. My firm is actually big on growing teams and having the younger generation kind of learn from those who have been in the business a while. I won't say that I knew everything when I first started, and I'm still learning. There's so much to learn in business in general that even the 60-year-olds are still learning. So It's good to have a firm that you enjoy working with that cultivates growth and doesn't kind of say, well, don't do that because that's not how we do things. And, willing to let you grow with time and, just expand your business and support you while you're doing it. But again, that goes with a lot of business owners. It's kind of the same setup, really.
No, cool. I mean, listen, it's good advice to take your time. A lot
Yeah.
of people are like the hustle and bustle. I mean, it is New York, so
Right.
listen,
Right.
I'm on like 50 mile per hour. I'm going,
Yeah.
through my business, that type of thing. So I understand completely. I mean, I just hit 10 years in my actual group,
Right.
and then 12
Yeah.
years in business. So
Yeah.
it takes time, and I'm still not as successful as I want to be. So it
Right.
does take a lot of. I mean, I'm also working on my day job that pays the bills. So
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
splitting your life sometimes is what you have to do. But just as long as you have passion for it, I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
Brittney, thank you very much. I want to
Thank
make
you.
sure that people, get this video and get inspired by the things that you do. And also, reach out to you because that's the most important. The first and foremost thing that I want to make sure that people do is if you can follow her on her socials, if she has them up on her page, on her website. What's that website again? One more time.
It's BrittneySecreto.SaterraInvestors.com.
All right.
And then just Brittney Secreto on my Facebook page.
All right. So if you find her on there, it's let me just make sure I have the right link for you. It's facebook.com/Brittney BRITTNEY right? It's SECRETO.9 is the actual page URL.
That's it.
So that way you can take her. If you see the bridge there is I'm not gonna actually guess the bridge and then call her. And
there
if
you go.
You get it right. You get to hang out with her for a good financial lesson. Don't mean to throw that deal out there, but I think it's a fun.
You're good. You're good.
But that being said, everybody, I appreciate the interview here with you, Brittney. We're doing this every week. We're interviewing different business owners. So if you're a business owner, hit me up. But on top of that, all our videos release on Wednesdays at noon. So if you check out the page, it's Ramon Pinheiro on Facebook. We also have, things posting on Instagram as Mr. 845 Social, and then also YouTube with my page, CE Avengers. I know there's a lot of different brand names. Listen, I'm a Gemini. What do you expect? But when all these get released, the biggest thing that you could do is like the pages that I link on there or tag the business owners and you follow them, making sure that not only you increase their presence on social media, but also reaching out to them.
Yeah.
By doing that, it helps the local economy and it gets more and more people to kind of help businesses come together and also grow in our area. That being said, everybody, this is Mr. 845. I'm going to be signing off and hitting the streets. You never know, I could find out your new favorite. All right, guys, take it easy.